Welcome to the channel. Welcome to this episode of Beefy Boys Breakdown. We're at episode 131. We're going to be recapping UFC Fight Night Dern versus Hill, and starting off with the prelims tonight. My friend, how you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Had a solid day at work today. Had a nice little dinner. Had some leftovers in the fridge. Been eating pretty good lately, so I've been feeling good. It's
Me too, bro. I've been way more active. I've been eating better, been drinking a little less as I sit here drinking high noon, but still, overall on the whole. And yeah, no, I mean, it's just crazy, there's a reason why, like, that shit, like, puts you in good health. Like, that shit works. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, that shit works. Like, yeah, no doubt. Good to hear you're feeling good, brother. Yeah, man, jerking the curtain, man. Honestly, not a bad fight to start the night off. We're talking first night of a Apex Fight Night prelims. You got Takashi Sato, however you say it, plus 105, taking on Themba Gorimbo, minus 125. And there was a bunch of cool stories coming out about this guy. And by proxy, Colby Covington, like throughout the course of the week, like Themba posted on his IG and his Twitter, like how he had like $7 in his Bank of America account, like before the fight, and that like Colby Covington was paying for his training sessions, and he was eating like the UFC Apex like weight cutting meals, and like just like scraping by that fucking skin of his teeth, and like moved to I think Florida from Zimbabwe, and then was like I think getting ready for this fight at the Apex. Just really kind of crazy story, and it's like, yeah, some people get fucked on the top end of the UFC, but you got to remember like these other guys like Themba Gorimbo, who like, I mean, the guy probably made more money Saturday night than he has the past couple of years combined.
oh, the bottom end UFC fighters. It's like it's the dirtiest trap, right? Because they don't get paid enough. That's just the flat statement's true, right? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at the same time, a lot of those fighters are working day jobs and fighting on the side when they first make it to the UFC. They can't afford to train full time. And so when they're able to win in the UFC and it's for, I don't know, $2,500, and then if they win, they get another 2,500, so they make 5 grand in one night.
No, I think the lowest they do is 12 and 12. Let's not get crazy here. I believe the league minimum is 12 and
Are you
12. Or
sure?
I don't believe it's lower than 10 and 10. Like I feel pretty confident in saying that. Especially like new contracts. Like maybe there's like some guys on some old shitty contracts that they haven't completed or something, but I do believe the minimum is like
Well,
12 and
10 and
12, 10
10
and
I
10.
don't hate.
For like a low level guy that's not selling any
I
tickets or
mean,
putting any asses in the
like
seats,
no one came to see you fight. Like, I really don't know your name. Here's 20 grand if you win. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and then if you do that 3 times a year, I mean, you're making more than most Americans. You
I'll
know what
put
I
it
mean?
this way. If you do that 3 times a year, you shouldn't have money issues. But
Shouldn't have
also,
money
like,
issues, and you also earn that second contract, which will be bigger.
that's what I
Like
was
that's what
gonna
I'm saying.
say.
People make like you need to burn through that first contract. It's almost like a developmental contract. You know what I mean? Like this ain't the contract. Like this is like the contract before the contract before the contract. If we're being honest, like this is like NIL money, pretty much. Like
I'll say the big thing to do as well if you're like, making a late replacement or uh, debut, even. I think for some debut people that are like unheard of and are facing off against the person like that's just some savage that everyone knows, go for the flashy knockout or the crazy sub. Like, try to get the extra 50 grand. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's double your win on top of your win.
Right.
Um, and makes you like important to the company, makes you worth keeping around, makes and then that does then the next fight you can't say, oh, no one's ever heard of you or this guy's bringing nothing to the table. It's the guy that has the viral highlight. Like Joaquin Buckley is now like a guy that kind of matters because he gave us the performances we wanted to see and got to that second contract and got some bigger fights. And you know, I don't know. We got a little off the rails here, but not really. Just inspirational stuff from Themba Gorimbo. Also, like Colby Covington is like it kind of, at the end of the day, like when it in certain topics, like when it comes to helping this guy who does happen to be black, you know what I mean? A lot of things get said about Colby Covington, and like guy, I think at the end of the day is like a solid guy. Maybe obviously not going to agree with everything on every topic with the guy, but like I think this showed just like a kind of an actual human being but behind the mask. You know what I mean? Just help and thank God he did, because I mean, Thimba Garimbo put on a good performance. And honestly, this was the only bet I hit all night. I ate dick at the books, but and I'll be real, I'm not going to try to sound like the smartest guy in the room. I just was fading Sato. I'm super out on Sato. Like, he hasn't impressed me in years and years and years, and his past performances have been pretty bad against mid-level fighters. And I was really just fading Sato. Minus 125 on Garimbo when I was pretty sure Sato was going to lose. I was like, I'll take it on a three-legger. It was on a three-legger, only leg that I hit, so not even worth bragging about. But I just wanted to point out how I was fading Sato hard.
No, I totally am with you on that. Overall, man, I think this fight, maybe not the whole fight, I guess that'd be kind of rude of me to say, but I thought the first round was rather boring.
Yeah, it wasn't a barn burner, and no bonus was earned off this one, to our earlier point. But, it was essentially, as far as offensive output goes, all Garimbo.
That's what I mean. Sato was just struggling to get snoozy clinch on the fence and, that one sweep. But he was just kind of trying to neutralize offense, not really create his own.
He was on defense and had decent defense. Didn't get finished, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just that kind of makes a snoozy kind of a fight when Garimbo isn't able to really do any big damaging shots, and Sato's not really taking any risks, so he's not opening himself up for the big shots, but he's also not getting anything off of his own.
Yeah, there was big knockdown in the second round. That was probably the most exciting moment of the fight.
That's why I was going to say most of the fight was boring, but the second
and
third
honestly,
pick up
in the second round was honestly kind of sweet, because there was a knockdown, and then pretty much the whole rest of the round was a big scramble. It was a pretty high level scramble. It was a pretty sick round. But I feel you're not necessarily a barn burner. I mean, I think everybody, myself, all the judges, I assume you had a 30-27 as well, or did you have any 10-8s in there?
No, so I had a 30-27. I was very surprised by Sato's ability to recover in round two. I thought that was going to be clearly headed for a 10-8, but he recovered so well that, I gave him a 10-9 in round two.
Yeah, same thing, exactly. And also, like I said, the respect to not get finished, because this was one of those fights where if he wanted to find a way out of there was a million opportunities, and he didn't take them. So, haven't said a lot of nice things about Sato on this podcast, but that's probably about as close I'm going to get. He's a dog. If there was a million opportunities, Garimbo was on his back multiple times, full mount multiple times. If Sato wanted to find a way out of there, he chose not to. So hats off to you. Do-rag off to you.
Do-rag off to you.
Yeah, man. That's all I got, man, on that one.
You got anything for Garimbo next?
Welterweight division. You could always do a Simmelsberger, one of those guys that aren't ranked, but or who's the Brazilian, or not the Brazilian, the Australian, Jake Matthews, a guy like that. That's a pretty high step up. That's a pretty high step up.
What about the winner of the fight later on the card between Kosi and Urbina?
Something like that. Or, Battle has a win over Sato. Garimbo has a win over Sato, a Brian Battle, that level of guy. You know what I mean? I think we're saying 30 to 30-ish ranked welterweight guy. Not really that close to the top, but
is someone like Fialho or Buckley too big of a jump?
I don't think you can even call Fialho a jump at this point. Spoiler alert, but it's Stack and L Stacker over there, but the Portuguese L Stacker. But so no, I guess would be a simple way to put that, less rude way to put that. But yeah, you can do Fialho. I'm not mad at it. But let's keep it pushing here. We got our first women's fight of the night. We got Victoria Leonardo plus 625 taking on Natalia Silva minus 900 in the women's flyweight division. And God damn it, dude. Because I hate any Brazilian with the last name Silva. It's so hard to stand out. And they all can just blend together in your head. So I forgot how much I like Natalia Silva. When she walked out and I saw her fight, I was like, oh, I remember this chick. She's obviously badass. Well, obviously Vegas. Because at first I was like, who's this girl with a minus 900 that I've never heard of?
I thought the same.
And then I just honestly, if you don't know now, you know. I forgot. Y'all must have forgot. I've forgotten. Natalia Silva reminded me, dude, her striking is, some of the best in the division. I'll say it. It's up there.
I mean, yeah, it was insane. I mean, she had she was giving her just pure hands for the first 90 seconds before she just started landing. I mean, essentially, it was like 90 seconds to break the shell of Leonardo, and then after that, it was just open shots till the ref stepped in.
And just like the eye test, like the speed like gap. And I'm not saying Victoria Leonardo is some like world class athlete, but like the speed gap was so like it jumped off this TV screen. And then like the accuracy, the killer instinct, the variety of strikes. I mean, she knocks her down with the left hook, and then pretty much right when she gets up, start like spamming head kicks. She was throwing head kicks like
threw,
jabs.
four
I mean,
in a row.
the fluidity of the hips, the accuracy, they all landed. Like, I mean, who can spam 4 head kicks? They all land. I mean, Leonardo was hurt and like showing up, like kind of a stationary target, but still, I mean, impressive. Like she did shit that like you just don't really see. I mean, it just jumped off the screen, dude. I'm fucking shoveling coal. I mean, women's flyweight hasn't given us. I mean, all the prospects. It's cool because like all the prospects that we used to like Blanchfield and Santos, they're now like legit contenders. So it's like we need new prospects to like be excited about. And give me some Silva, dude. Fuck it. Like I'm hyped on it. Like, I'll shovel some coal.
I 100% agree with that. That take for sure. Like keep stacking prospects in the back end of flyweight, and like that division. I really do think women's 125 is going to be the best division in maybe 18 months or so. Like
I think it is because strawweight fell off, which we'll see in the main event. Like strawweight was hot for a second. There's no longer a Joanna champion. Who knows what the fuck Rose is doing? You know, Zhang Wei Li's like decently likable, but it's not like people are chomping at the bit for her next fight.
The Yan Xiaonan Wei Li fight's gonna not draw.
Apparently, it's not happening. It's not happening. They said Lemos gets the shot.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's fucked, but also there's just no draw there, which is exactly what I was about to say. Is there's just no draw.
Like at least Lemos could produce a highlight, which could produce a star.
Yeah, there's just no draw for Zhang Wei Li and
but that's what I'm saying. Like, and then bantamweight is Snooze City, featherweight is Fugaze. So it's like women's flyweight is the best women's division. I'll say it now.
I mean, yeah, but it's de facto the best right now.
Well, I mean, sometimes you gotta work with what you got, man. But
yeah, no, I just think in 18 months, like whenever Shevchenko's kind of at the very end of her time, like, and I know she's not the belt holder, but like she kind of holds that. It's almost like Holloway is in the featherweight division. Like you got to get past her, and I think that's going to be really tough for so many people to do. You know, like no one gets past Holloway unless your name's Volkanovski in the UFC.
I mean, I think Natalia Sylvia beats Lauren Murphy right now. I mean, I'll call that a hot take if you want to.
Oh no,
I know we haven't seen the wrestling tested that.
That for sure. I think she for sure could beat Lauren Murphy. Now you're right.
Oh, I thought you were going to go the other way and disagree with me and say Lauren Murphy beat too. But like,
no,
Lauren
her hands
striking
are
so bad.
Yeah, right. I was going to say like matchup.
It's a matchup.
Wise, like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now,
that was a cherry pick. That was a cherry pick matchup. I'm just saying, if you want to build this girl,
Jennifer Maia might be a bad matchup for her.
Yeah. But that's a heater though. That's a fun
fight. It's a fun fight.
You could do a Tracy Cortez. I wouldn't be mad at it. Miranda Maverick.
I think Andrea Lee would be fun. I think Andrea Lee would bang with her.
You think? But we're saying that back in the top 15. Like she looks ready to me, dog. I don't know how many more cans she needs.
I think you probably throw her one more can. Some girl that's just lurking just outside.
One more tall can.
Yeah. But like a big boy can, you know. And then when you and then when she just
24 ounces a can,
right? And then when she just shotguns it to the floor in 4 seconds, I mean, then you're gonna have to
build
give
some
her a rank shot.
No, for sure, man. And I mean, I could honestly gush all day about Natalia Silva, but when the fight lasts 3 minutes, there's only really so much to break down there. Looks fantastic. Leonardo probably on the way out of the promotion. I had to guess, keep an eye on that roster watch. But
we called it last week, by the way.
Yeah, we did, for sure. I see you with this Logan Paul fucking gargle job you got going there. There you go.
Hey, bro, you're gonna hate and love to hear this. Been drinking a lot of Prime energy drinks. Been drinking a lot of Prime hydration drinks. I like all 4 flavors. And I went out and bought the powder sticks so I can pour and make my own like hydration drink mix at
And
the
the
house.
price on it's gas, dude. The
That's what I'm
price on
saying.
it compared to Gatorade and
That's what I'm
shit. Hey,
saying.
I'll
That's
fuck
what I'm
with it.
saying.
Yeah, no doubt. And I like I'd rather like you can say what you want about Jake Paul. I'd rather my money go to him than some faceless, nameless guy that's the CEO of Gatorade. You know what I mean? Like these weird like corporate assholes. Like fuck those guys. Like I'd rather go to a young guy that's involved in combat sports to whatever degree. You know, like fuck it.
And low key, they're tasty. They have coconut water in them, which is weird. It's like different. So if you're allergic to coconut, you
No,
can't
that's
drink
a
them.
dope base for sure. But man, I'm excited to talk about this next fight. Like low key, these prelims, like to me, there's not like a step down from the prelims to the main card. Like you could argue like a little bit of a ranking, couple numbers next to a couple names, but like these prelims that were intriguing to me, mainly because I mean Chase Hooper moving up to lightweight, still only 23 years old, 8 fights deep into his UFC career. It's impressive, and then taking on Nick Fiore, who's actually the favorite here at minus 125. I don't know, just intriguing. And I can't say I was like chomping at the bit to see it. You know, it is a prelim fight, but what I'm getting at is like, what's this going to look like, Chase Hooper at lightweight? Like, I'm here for it. Like, I'm curious. I'll stick around to see this question answered. You know what I'm saying?
I think Vegas felt the exact same way as you, and I felt pretty much the same way too. Is that like at 155, he's already getting lit up at 45. I think he used to fight at 35 of it, like in the start, correct?
Man, I don't think so. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. I don't think so because he is like 6'1". He's a big guy.
Yeah, he was huge. But yeah, at 45, he would just be getting lit up. But it was almost like with his body, he needed to have that weight be the weight he fought at because he wasn't that muscled down, right? Like, and if he's not going to have much muscle, then he can't go up.
Well, and like, name a human that doesn't gain like, or name I don't want to say a human. Name an athletic male that doesn't gain 20 pounds from age 18 to 23. Like, it's almost impossible not to, just like your frame filling out and shit. Not
Right.
to mention if you're doing any kind of workout whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was going to say is like his back
like a
actually got
23-year-old
wider.
has as much testosterone as like a 40-year-old guy on TRT. Like, it's like natural. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's just
really,
going to happen.
It really looked like his like shoulders and back like got thicker. You know what I'm saying? And not like like I know the muscularity.
It wasn't the show
but,
muscles.
Like, yeah,
But it wasn't the show muscles. It wasn't the pecs and the biceps that got bigger. It was that shit you need for fighting.
right. Yeah, but I think it like you're saying it's part of him like fully physically developing, like all those muscle systems being fully together.
Yeah, I don't think he was in there doing any, hanging snatches, but he definitely filled out a little bit. But but yeah, so I was looking forward to it, man. And and the guy he was fighting is actually the jiu-jitsu coach at New England Cartel, which is interesting because it's new. It wasn't going to be like a grappling mismatch. You know what I mean? Which is going to force him to strike. Which that's what we all want to see is like, what does Chase Hooper's striking look like at 55? And we got some answers, dude. I thought I thought it looked good. Did it look perfect? Is he? No. But like looked pretty goddamn good. Like in comparison to like 6 fights ago, I'll take it.
Okay.
Okay,
with that last part of your statement, with compared to where he started.
Yeah, I mean that's you only compete with the man in the mirror.
Bro, he's so defensively irresponsible. He will get knocked out by someone that knows how to counter strike.
I had that in my notes. Like offense looks vastly improved. Like the output, the aggression, the power. Defense probably about the same, which is very dangerous, especially at lightweight division full of killers. I mean,
Chase Hooper's known for getting cracked.
Yeah, no, for sure. 1,000%. I think he maybe eats a shot a little better with the water still on him. You know what I'm saying? At 55.
I did notice that because I will say in the first round, Fiore landed a couple shots, and Hooper just kind of like tough mugged him and walked through him.
Yeah, I thought he won the stand-up battle and won.
Oh, for
he
sure.
He had kind of that barrage at the end of the round. The grappling sequences were sweet because they kind of amounted to a whole lot of nothing because each guy was so high level. But these transitions and Hooper's jiu-jitsu, he really does shit that other people can't do.
He's so nice with it. Like his length and his ability to just pull his legs, like you're saying, yeah, flexible, but with the length too, for like him to get his leg up almost like over your shoulder and like hang his foot back down. It's like he can do really weird stuff with how long and flexible he is.
Like some shit that you see like Mackenzie Dern do, like the hips flexibility, something like that. What we always talk about sometimes, like female jiu-jitsu, it's like it literally looks different than male jiu-jitsu because the flexibility of the hips and all that. But like, hey, Chase Hooper can do all that shit. It's crazy. And almost like a Mike Musumeci, like that kind of jiu-jitsu ass flexibility is a weapon. So some sweet grappling sequences, but really Chase Hooper got it done on the feet and won. I thought in round 2 he won the damage battle in the feet as well, where those standing elbows were pretty fucking impressive. And that's what I mean by like the improvement. Like
I thought the standing elbows were good. That was the one thing I liked the most.
Chase Hooper stepping elbows, like give it to me, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like that's
especially because he would do them with off of a high guard and off of like throwing combos. You know, he'd take a break and then step back in with those. I really like that. That was the one thing I thought myself, like, that's a legitimate weapon he can use against
long
anyone.
Guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's still long for lightweight.
I mean, that's a John Jones thing for light heavyweight. You know, I don't know that he'll be able to do that at heavyweight, but yeah, that same rules apply. Like when you're long and tall and you have long or like that long tricep, you got to use that step in bow. Like that's a big weapon.
Yeah, especially for a guy like he's no Michael Chandler with the punches, you know, but that's like a way to neutralize that power maybe gap. It's like, you know, I mean, some step in elbows will earn you a little bit of respect. Then round 3, you know, I thought he got it done with the pressure and the pace. You know, he really was in control of the fight. Like round 3, he was kind of coasting, but not snoozy coasting. Like he was getting after it a little bit, but firmly in control, I guess what you could say.
Now, did you? Oh, hey, do we want to enter Dana White's VIP Power Slap sweepstakes? It's on UFC's website. I don't know if you've already entered.
Is there a chance to like go watch a power slap?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lit. I need to answer that. I'd go live.
Oh my god.
I'd go live.
You
I'd
savage.
go live.
You absolute savage. Hey, so I was going to ask you though about this. Did you have any 10-8s?
I didn't. I would assume it was round 2 if I had to guess, but I didn't. Nothing made me like feel inclined to give a 10-8. What round was given a 10-8? Because I did see the judges. There was 130-26.
Round 1. Very surprising.
Yeah, especially because a lot of that round was spent in like some dope-ass scrambles. There was some damage done. I thought there was more damage done in 2 than 1, perhaps. Like
that's what I thought, too. And I still didn't go 10-8.
Yeah.
And I thought,
me neither.
And I thought more so in 1 than 2, Fiore fought back. Like I felt like in 2 he really didn't fight back as well.
Yes, 1,000% agree. And I thought in round 3 he was coasting a little bit. So, yeah, no, I mean, future at lightweight, I mean, it's tough for him because even looking at 13, 14, and 15 all seem like scary matchups for him. I mean, Grant Dawson, Matt Frivola, and Renato Moicano. Like, Moicano and Frivola probably knock him out. And Grant Dawson, I mean, it's going to be, he's probably,
I think Grant Dawson probably could finish him too, honestly.
I mean, stylistically, it's probably the best matchup of those 3 names I just listed, but could be wrong there too. I mean, Grant Dawson's so good, dude. Like, so
I know,
that division
that's the thing is that division is just, I mean, your skill set's got to be so well rounded.
Even Dan Hooker, who I think is like on a skid, I think we all kind of view Dan Hooker a little differently these days. I think that's still a bad matchup for Chase Hooper. So he looked great, and at lightweight, I thought, performed well. I don't want to be the skunk at the garden party, but it's just like, no, I mean, he's only 23, but he's also 8 fights in. He's just kind of in a weird place. He's kind of in a weird place. I don't really know what you do with the Chase Hooper, or like what the expectations are for a Chase Hooper.
You know what I think about it, though, is that, like, sorry, I was just kind of thinking about, like, Max Holloway started really young. Wasn't necessarily the best when he very first started in the UFC. He was really, like, raw and talented, but he got so much better, and I do see Hooper getting a lot better with every fight for the most part.
If Hooper can, like, stick around long enough, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's the thing, is he's got to keep getting the right matchups, yeah.
He can't, like, stack any 3L streaks or anything, but, like, yeah, you're right. Like, a 28-year-old Chase Hooper, like, is probably a very dangerous fighter. It's just, like, bridging that gap. I mean, like, what do these next couple of years look like? What kind of matchups are you getting? It's interesting, like, how they go about this career.
100%. But
we can keep it pushing.
Yeah. So up next, we got some heavyweights, which, God, Ilir Latifi, man, just used to fight at 185.
The
Not
human
so much
chicken
anymore.
nugget. The Swedish meatball.
Swedish meatball, 100%. Fighting Rodrigo Nascimento I actually did not get the odds on this one.
So Latifi coming in at plus 150, Nascimento coming in at minus 175. It was one of those things. Nascimento was a decent bet at minus 175, but I was being a greedy little value monster at the book this weekend. So I just was like, I don't want the minus 175, which isn't even bad. I don't even know what I was thinking. But yeah, I mean, 40-year-old Ilia Latifi up like 3 weight classes. I mean, definitely nearing the end. He's like 5'10", fighting at heavyweight. I mean, bad matchup. Now, all that to say, we got to go round by round here because Latifi was able to, make it a little murky.
Oh yeah. The murky, the mossy water is here.
For sure, bro. Now I thought round 1 wasn't that murky, but I mean, given the final scorecards, maybe it was. But I like Nascimento like pretty easily in round 1. Those counter lefts, the pressure, the octagon control, like he had Latifi like dancing along the fence most of the round. He was landing some big lefts. Now Latifi landed some good calf kicks. It wasn't really like Nascimento. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it was that impactful. He wasn't switching stances. He was able to walk still. So I'll take those counter lefts over the calf kicks, the octagon control, the pressure. I thought Nascimento won round 1.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I thought strategically it was just a mistake from Latifi. I mean, he was literally putting his back to the fence and circling the outside, throwing huge leg kicks. Like they were chopping.
They were nice.
Kicks. And I am aware of how damaging those are, but also I'm aware of how Nascimento didn't seem to really eat them that hard. Like the way he was eating them indicated to me that they weren't hurting him that bad, and he was landing some left hooks while Latifi was trying to circle out. So all things considered, I like the damage to the head on Latifi and the octagon control more so than the damage from Latifi. So I scored it 10-9 to Nascimento as well.
No, for sure. And then round 2, man, Latifi was like, all right, I'm going to get this thing to the mat, which was definitely his path to victory. He was 1,000% going to lose the kickboxing match. So he gets this pretty sweet double leg takedown and then pretty much controls the rest of the round. Got some ground and pound off, nothing too devastating, but it wasn't like ultra snoozy. He was doing just enough. He kept the position. I thought it was clear round for Latifi.
So I 100% agree with you, man. I thought the control at the end, albeit snoozy, the damage was pretty much negligible for either guy before then. So if you're controlling the position and you're on top and you are getting some ground and pound off, you're probably absolutely winning that round. All the judges agree with this, by the way. So
okay. I thought you were going to drop some bullshit on me.
No, everyone has it 19-19. Now, what I was going to say, though, is that if you look at Latifi's topology, it's so many times that he doesn't try to wrestle from the start, and he eventually gets to it, but it's like too little too late, or he gets finished before he gets to the like actual wrestling that he needs to be doing. But he used to be on Sweden's Olympic team. Like, I don't understand why he doesn't wrestle more. It baffles me. How many takedowns did he shoot in the first round?
I don't think any, or nothing like too legit. Maybe some little feints, but yeah.
So but and then you watch this
like
fight,
that's his path to victory.
Yeah,
that's his path to victory. Yeah,
yeah. And if you watch the second and third rounds, he actually has some insane takedown like shot entries and also transitions.
I literally say in round 3 in my notes, I used the word sweet. Like that was a sweet fucking takedown. Like, not all takedowns are easy on the eyes. That one was like that was fucking sick.
100%. So I mean, getting to it, yeah.
Because it all comes down to round 3.
Right.
And round 3 is the closest round, the hardest round to score. I mean, honestly, this was a hell of a fight. I thought it could go either way because, Nascimento hurt Latifi like decently bad at the start of the round, on the feet, cracked him. But then Latifi got the takedown and landed some pretty, like his best shots of the whole fight were landed at the end of the third round, talking about for Latifi here. 100%. So it's hard to say he really got back the damage per se, but also the takedown, the control time with damn near equal damage, maybe not exactly equal, but 85% of the damage. I don't know that he was hurt pretty bad, and he never hurt Nascimento. So if you're doing schoolyard rules, maybe not. You give Nascimento the round. I just thought Latifi did enough and recovered well enough from getting hurt, and did enough to duration, as they say, through as the round went on. Latifi looked better and better, and the gap, in my opinion, kind of widened as the round went on.
Yeah, so I actually thought you were going to see this the other way. I scored this for Latifi as well, and I kind of came down on the logic of, well, if I scored round 2 for him, granted Nascimento did really nothing in round 2 and did something in round 3, but I thought round 3 was Latifi's best round. And so that being taken into consideration, along with Latifi finishing the fight, looking like the aggressor, having the takedown in the control time. I mean, I know he got rocked, but he recovered so well, like you said. I leaned to Latifi as well. Granted, wasn't gonna be mad at either guy getting that third.
Yes, because if you're saying damage is the first criteria, I think it's still fair to say that Nascimento won the damage in round 3. You know what I mean? But I did think he lost the round. I think that both of those things can be true. Now, so we both scored the whole fight for Latifi, 29-28. That's interesting. I was really curious if we were going to agree on that, and we do. So I think it leads a little validity to our argument there.
I was very intrigued by that as well. I just think that like the takedowns Latifi was getting, or the takedowns he was getting, were very impressive. Honestly, like they were
impressive,
and
he was able to maintain control.
And the control he would get off of them was huge.
He got his damage off at the end of the third round. Like I was debating the whole round. Like fuck, can I? Like I don't think I can give Latifi this round just off control because he got cracked. And then right at the very end of the round,
with like 15 seconds left, he pushed the gas pedal, which I also liked. I
was like, that's really the only box that I need to check to give you this round was for you to get a little damage off, and you did. So
I would also
not by a wide margin.
I would also say in Pride or in One, he would win that fight just because he was having 1,000%. A better ending.
The whole fight was close, and then one guy ends strong. 1,000% agree. Judges do not agree with this, and we got a split decision on our hand, which two judges gave round 3 to Nascimento. I mean, not egregious, not a robbery. Me and Harrison saw it as all.
Yeah, I mean, not how we saw it, but that's one fight where I'm like, you know what? Neither guy's getting robbed here, especially because neither guy really did the most. I think both guys, like I think Nascimento could have thrown longer combinations and really hurt Latifi because I think Latifi's defense was not sound. He was just literally trying to get to the cage and then move on it. And like if you throw long combinations against someone that's has their back to a wall, I mean, you can only dodge so many shots.
Especially when Latifi was really only throwing back leg kicks. So like,
right, that's
you're
what,
right.
And so closing
Nascimento
that range
should have like went for it. He should have went for it. And he could have probably got him out of there because Latifi was getting hurt pretty much. When Nascimento would land clean, Latifi, like, eventually he'd recover, but initially he wouldn't react well to it.
So that, and then my other last takeaway from it too is that if Latifi just comes out and feints a couple punches here and there, throws a big overhand, and then goes for a shot, I mean, he should have been wrestling the whole time. He was very successful with his takedown attempts.
Yeah, it's just like, what are we doing here with Latifi? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think he needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the fact that he can't beat guys. It's just like you're 40. Like, is he really going for a heavyweight title? I think if he was being honest with himself, the answer there is no. You know, I mean, what's he going to keep doing? Is he just going to keep fighting these unranked heavyweights and like barely, you know, maybe losing split decisions, maybe winning split decisions? Probably not wrestling as much as he should. Is anybody? I mean, I'll be real. I mean, it adds a little bit of name value to a prelim, but like, what are we even saying?
Yeah, and also like, I'm pretty sure one of the guys he has to work out with on the daily in the gym is Hamzat. Like, that can't be fun either. So
yeah, no, definitely not. And as far as Nascimento goes, I mean, he's 10-1. He's beaten guys. He's 3-1 in the UFC. I mean, the wins are over Dontel Mays, Tanner Boser, and Latifi's by far his best UFC win, if you ask me. So he's heading in the right direction.
The loss to Chris win.
Right? When, like, Fuguay's win, barely scraped by, and then Dontel Mays and Tanner Boser, like, have kind of proven to not be UFC caliber heavyweights, at least not high level. And then the losses to Chris Dawkins, and you know how we feel about, and that was instant, 45 seconds in the first round. So you know how we feel about Chris Dawkins. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just kind of a nothing burger for me. Like, I just am not really too stoked on either of these guys moving forward. But like, you know, hey, what can you do? Let's keep it pushing. That's what we can do because Gilbert Urbina, a guy I was not stoked about before this fight. Stoked about after this fight. I think he found his right weight class. And I know that sounds super corny to say, but like this guy was fighting that middleweight. He was losing fights. It's admittedly not in the best shape. He would even say that himself. I think he overcame an injury or two, but like probably the best we've seen Gilbert Urbina look.
He looks
Taking
a
on
lot
Ryan
better
Coasty,
than he ever did at 185. That's for sure.
1,000%. Taking on a Ryan Coasty who, talk about Fuguay's wins, his only UFC win is over Blood Diamond. And once again, if you ever watch this show, you know how we feel about Blood Diamond. And then, took a loss to Phil Rowe, who's since then taken losses. Like, that loss is not aging well. Koski, I don't know, Koski, however you say it, but, like, just pretty one-dimensional, and he's, like, not that great at that one dimension. Like, all he can kind of do is wrestle, but yet he wasn't really getting many takedowns, so it's like, what are we doing here?
He's a wrestler that has, like, a huge overhand and, like, a big hook, which is essentially the same thing as what you used to see in 2012 with UFC, high-level fighters.
Yeah,
so, like,
he looks like
just
a throwback.
Yeah, he's just 10 years behind what he needs to be. Like, his skill set, his fight style doesn't make sense for today's fight game.
Agreed. Another different weight classes, but let's just fucking hop in a time machine and do Kron Gracie at Koski.
Oh God, man, like that's just Kron just crawling on the ground while Kosi is just trying to like throw uppercuts at his face and not fall into him.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and Gilbert Urbina is pretty huge for the weight class, being 6'3". True coin toss on the money line, -110 each way. And Koski missed weight, so I thought it was respectful. Like, Urbina's a dog. Like, he moved down from 85 and he made weight. The guy who's fighting, who's only like 5'10", missed weight. He was going to win this fight. Yeah. I'm surprised that money line didn't move after the weigh.
I thought the money line here was very odd, by the way. Just because, like, I just thought odd because, like, I don't know if there's anyone in welterweight that I'd make Orion Kosi a pick'em or favorite against. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Like, that's more the way I feel about him is, like, it's just a fade Kosi. Like, how the hell is he even odds with anyone?
Urbina has the loss to Tresean Gore and Brian Battle. The Battle loss is aging kind of nicely. But you can't use size as a reason for that one because he's now a welterweight too. Also, sweet fucking mullet by Urbina, and he's got that gelato out bag.
Yeah, bro, that was the funniest thing to say on the mic after that. It was great.
But let's dive into these X's and O's here, because man, I gave Urbina a 10-8 in round one. It proves. This fight doesn't make it to the scorecards, but I was curious to see if you did.
Oh yeah, I said that was an easier Urbina round. That was also a 10-8.
Yeah, because he was dominant on the feet, dominant on the ground,
and the whole round,
sub attempts. But like he beat him every which way: stand up striking, ground striking, sub attempts. Beat him in the grappling. Like every position was with solid ass damage too. That ground and pound was gnarly.
And for more or less 4.5 minutes of 5 minutes. Like I thought he was ahead the whole time. Now, granted. We get to the corner, and Kosi tells his corner he thinks he broke his rib, which, as we get into the second round, Urbina kind of picks up on that something is wrong with his body as he's
laying. That hand was low.
Yeah.
That hand was low. I picked up on it, too.
So gets that front kick off that lands right on the rib. Essentially,
nasty.
Essentially drops Kosi. He probably definitely broke his rib. And then, knee to the head. Obviously, Kosi's barely defending himself.
Dude, Urbina's a savage. Yeah. He's a mean guy. Yeah. Like, he's on some super necessary shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because he goes front kick to the body and then knee to the head. I was like, oh.
Rib. Guy's clearly injured. Knee to the head.
Knee to the head. Sorry about it.
Not saying he did anything wrong, but not sorry about it energy to the fullest.
Right, yeah.
Like, to the fullest, like, personified. Yeah. Which makes me like Urbina. Like, if you're going to give me, like, a quote-unquote low-level prelim welterweight fight, I'll take some Urbina. Like, it's going to be fun.
I'll give him this, right? So, former football player, so I guarantee you he has that mentality of, like, till he hears the whistle, he's playing.
Yeah.
So, like, till the ref stops him, he's going hard.
Absolute savage. And then he gets with Bisping on the mic after the fight, after the Sig knockout. Which, does he get a bonus for this? If not, he better fucking have. Let's see here.
Have it right here. I believe he does.
No bonus.
No. He doesn't.
That's pretty salty. I hope he got a Dana Duffel.
Especially considering there is a bonus on here I would say is not worthy over Urbina.
Wow. A little controversy on the bonus money. Yeah, hopefully got a Dana Duffel.
You know what I bet that was, though? I bet that's Dana seeing a guy be hurt. And so he's saying, like, he's hurt, so you wouldn't have finished him if he wasn't hurt. But it's also like, look at the killer instinct. I heard him and then immediately recognized that I heard him, like recognized that injury that I caused.
Took a bad step.
Finished him and then was throwing a knee at his face on the ground. Like, what do you want from me?
I think Urbina deserved a bonus there. I'll die on that hill. I'll stick my neck out there for that. Hopefully but yeah, then he got on the mic with Bisping and he was like, I got this. I'm going to be smoking that gelato out back. If anybody wants to join me. Like, I don't know, pretty sick, honestly. Like, is that a super helpful way to market yourself? That's debatable, but like, I mean, there is kind of a void. Like, the Nate Diaz fans of the world are left without a UFC fighter to root for at the current moment. And
Sean O'Malley.
I don't think it's Nick Maximoff, but fucking A, maybe it's Gilbert Urbina. I don't know. The swagger, the viciousness. Saying like skill set wise I'm sold, but like I kind of like character, like a dog I can kind of get behind and like just kind of root for and smoke some gelato with, like sign me up.
You know who makes like the most references of anyone in the UFC and podcasts? Like, it's like at least once every podcast I've heard him on make a reference to smoking weed is John Anik. Like, that dude must actually love weed.
Oh, I could see that. I could see that for sure. Also, a guy who doesn't talk about weed that much, but I'll stand by it. I'll die on the hill. Cody Garbrandt, best pre-roll I've ever smoked.
Yeah.
Bring it up every time. Got it in Sacramento. He has a line of pre-rolls out there. And, you know, if you're familiar with cannabis, usually pre-rolls don't taste as good as if you just broke down some flour and rolled your own. They're usually a little stale or a little drier. Maybe it's rolled poorly. This thing smoked perfectly, tasted like delicious Cali gas. Garbrandt in the weed game is slept on.
D-Mac, you know what else doesn't taste as good? Carts that have terpene isolates and nasty distillate. Now, you know what does taste good?
Yeah.
Carts with hash rosin. Now, if you guys
never had one.
Oh, I should send you one because I just finished making 392 in the last 2 days. And
that sounds gas. That sounds amazing.
And they just hit the market today. So for anyone that wants a hash rosin cart, go to Perfect Tiger Perfect, pretty sure that's a weird name, and then Goodies. But had to get a shameless burly plug for the shit I put out there. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, Harrison's been killing it in the cannabis game out in Oklahoma. I'm stoked for it. I'm stoked for the state of Oklahoma, man. I remember whenever you used to like you could get arrested for some stems and seeds out there. So happy for all my Oklahomans out there smoking that quality that my man Harrison's producing out there. But yes, sir. But yeah, I mean, shout out Gilbert Urbina smoking that gelato too. Also, big fan of gelato strain, my person.
As am I.
Good taste. But we'll keep it pushing here, I guess. Vanessa Demopoulos plus 110, taking on Karolina Kowalkiewicz, minus 130, who's 37 years old, obviously, and then taking the strawweight division. And I faded Kowalkiewicz. I thought the age was kind of, I mean, it's not that I'm the biggest Demopoulos fan, but she is on a streak. She does kind of seem to be rising, surging. And Kowalkiewicz, 37 years old, fighting on the prelims. I just kind of faded her. I can't say I put a ton of thought into this one. I just, I thought I saw a little value on Demopoulos there, but
I'm gonna keep it a buck. When I saw the weight miss from Demopoulos, along with how in the past few fights I've really liked Kowalkiewicz. I think she's had a revitalization of her career. This is the one pick that I was like hammer Kowalkiewicz.
Smart. I mean, I oversimplified it. I oversimplified my breakdown. I just saw the 37. How many 37-year-old women strawweights even exist?
Yeah, it's so weird, but she fights so intelligently.
I forgot what the account that liked it, but as soon as this fight ended, I was like, Kowalkiewicz doesn't fight like she's 37 years old. And some decently big MMA Twitter account liked the post.
It's true though.
So that was, but yeah, it was. I mean, because the thing is, she won with speed. She won. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
she won with cardio.
Exactly.
Like
usually the enemies of older fighters.
So, it's hard to. I mean, looks fantastic. Obviously, great shape. So she crushed it, dude. I mean, easy 30-27. I mean, and just damage, volume, accuracy,
Takedown defense.
I mean, there really isn't many nice things to say about Demopoulos' performance. I mean, it was pretty much one-way traffic. Kovacevic was landing like those, like sometimes you double up on the right hand. Like there was like no head movement from Demopoulos at all. She was just getting cracked with the right hands for like 15 minutes straight. She didn't really make any adjustments, which I don't think anybody really thought she was like super heady, like IQ fighter, but like failed to make any adjustments at all. Like that same right hand was landed for Kovacevic. I mean, I know this is my caveman breakdown here, but like oversimplifying it, but it was just pretty much right hands for 15 minutes, just feeding them to Demopoulos.
Just feeding them. No, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's 100% it was one-way traffic, man. There's not a phase of this fight that Demopoulos can go back and look at and say that she did a really good job of this or this. Because I think every phase was won by Kovacevic.
I mean, I guess, the ultimate low-hanging fruit, like you're grasping at straws to say something nice about somebody, like, she didn't quit, But I mean, it is true, she was getting tuned up. The damage was accumulating rapidly in the second, third round.
Yeah, I was going to say late second to mid-third. It was like, ooh.
Getting a little dicey. But, yeah, she hung in there. I mean, it was weird because, there was never a single moment that, like, swayed any of these to a 10-8. Like, there was never, like, that devastating.
Round 3, in hindsight, I feel like I maybe could go 10-8 just from, like, the accumulated damage. But that's my thing is it's cumulative, so it's not just that round.
Round 3, round 1 and 2, the damage was being done by the right hands. But in round 3, the damage was all being done with the jab. So the round where the most damage was done was like the least like wow.
That's what I mean. Like the wow factor wasn't there, but the damage was there. So like looking back, I'm like, well, it might have been a 10-8 because it was just all night long to close the fight out. But
at the very end of round 3, Demopoulos pulled guard and it managed to attack the legs a little bit, which honestly, some of the most success she had the whole fight, like. Probably should have done that not 14 minutes into the fight. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
at least she tried.
And I hate people, and I hate fighters pulling guard. But that was kind of where she found some of her most success.
I think the only pushback I'd have to the fighters pulling guard thing is I hate it too. But with 1 minute to go and you've been just getting your ass whipped, that's the time where I'm like, do whatever you got to do. Imanari roll, pull guard, fucking flying triangle, whatever you got to do something.
But she should have done that at the start of the round to give her time to work, I thought.
I agree with you on that. If it's going to be a grappling approach, you kind of got to give yourself the time to work through if you successfully get the transition.
1,000% agree. All judges gave it 30-27, so I don't think we were really tripping with not handing out a 30-20 or any 10-8 rounds. But Kovacevic looked great. Shut down the hype train of Demopoulos. She was a strawweight that was kind of surging a little bit. Don't want to spend a ton of time here, but strawweight rankings. Oh, I think we got a matchup. Her and Angela Hill had to have fought already. I'm like willing to. There's no way they haven't, right?
Kovacevic and Hill.
They've been in the strawweight division forever.
I don't think so.
Because if not,
maybe back in like 2017 or 2016 or something like that.
Listen to all these fighters that Kovacevic has fought. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. When you look at her topology, it's like she's a legend.
Alexa Grasso, Michelle Watterson, Jessica Andrade, Claudia Gadelia, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Rose Namajunas. Holy fucking shit. Hey, never fought Angela Hill, though, and they've both been in the UFC forever. I feel like they need to cross paths before it's all said and done. Sign me up for that, even if that is a spoiler.
Sorry, there's a moth plaguing me. No, I don't know how I got in here. That's crazy. No, I fully agree with you, though. Kovacevic has one of those... She has like a Don Cerrone kind of topology. You know what I mean? Like, she's 50-50 in her fights for the most part, or maybe 60-40 as far as wins, losses. But the people she fights...
resume.
Are just insane. And it's almost like if she was... oh, God, what's the... RDR, RD, 155 pounder, 170 pounder was gonna fight.
Dos Anjos?
Oh, RDA. It's the same thing with him though. Like his topology is crazy. He just never could get over that hump. Like I feel that same way with Kovalevich. So she's always going to be a dangerous fighter.
For sure, man. Still fighting at a high level late into her career, for sure. So I think her and Angela Hill, similar age. Sign me up for it. Fuck it. But we'll keep it pushing, man. Also, I got some breaking news.
Let's go.
Because my sports book told me a piece of information that I haven't seen anywhere else on the internet. I know Mahashate's first name. It printed on my sports book ticket.
Is it Hayes there?
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. I thought I was the smartest guy alive. Because he's one of the one-name Mongolians. They put one name up on the screen. I think he's got one name. He's got one name on Tapology. I've never seen Mahashate's first name anywhere. But they printed it on my ticket. I thought I had something to bring to the table here. Swing and a miss. My bad.
Sorry, man. Sorry to steal that thunder.
How the fuck did you know it? Where'd you see it?
Brian, I dive deep on people when they join the UFC, and I remember making I remember making scumbag bets whenever he made his debut, and I bet against him.
See, I was fading Borshchev, man. Borshchev historically has been one of our least favorite fighters.
Oh no, I would have faded Borshchev in this fight. I just remember
that's all it was
from fading him in his first fight.
Because it was a striker-on-striker matchup, and like everybody talks about how good Borshchev's striking is, but it's like, well, I haven't really seen it. I have seen Mahashate's, and kind of another caveman bet. But I was just like, I mean, in a theory, it's a great matchup for Borshchev, and that's kind of how it played out. But like, I was just like, man, I haven't seen it. And I'll be real, there's an eye test thing. I saw somebody tweet, God, Borshchev's striking is fun to watch. And I honestly just disagree with that take. Even when it was landing, it was just kind of slow, a little bit vanilla. And I'm sure some high-level person can, you weren't seeing this. And you're probably right. But just eye test-wise, even after a great performance, I'm still kind of out on Borshchev. I don't know. I'm just not a Borshchev guy. The whole Slavikos gimmick, I'm not.
So here's what Borshchev does. Borshchev does really well in the striking department that I think people are like salivating over, that they're trying to sell you on, is that he'll get inside and he's able to get right off of a punch where it's like grazing his face, and he's countering so hard, so straight, right in your face, right? And so he's getting these hard shots off in tight, and people really respect that and love that and want to compliment that and blow it up. Man, I think it's better to be like a Sean O'Malley, where you're throwing so many feints and strikes that your opponent's too confused to even throw that strike that close.
Yeah, and I just think there's an athletic ceiling on Borshchev. Like, I'm not even commenting on the skill ceiling, but like I said, even when he's landing, it just looks slow. Like,
well, his speed's not there to be that counter striker.
No.
Like, to counter strike, you got to be fast, right?
Like, how do you that's what it almost sounds like an oxymoron or some kind of trick question, like an elite striker that doesn't have elite speed. Striking and speed almost go hand in hand. Like, it's rare because it's effective. Especially when you like microcosm like this fight, ultra effective, uber effective. But like, just came down to it. I don't know. This didn't pass the smell test for me. But I mean, it was pretty much. I mean, he kind of worked Mahashatek. Like you said, he was countering him in, barely getting out of the way. He got a knockdown in round one. But like, it was weird. It was like, it wasn't a 10-8 because I thought like 4.5 minutes of the round was razor close. And then he gets the knockdown at the end of the round. I didn't think it was enough to really swing it 10-8. Did you?
No, I didn't give it 10-8, especially because Mahashatek he didn't seem that hurt by it. He's one of those, like, I don't know what's up with the Mongolian guys.
Mongolians, dude. Yeah,
bro, like, they'll get cracked and like literally be on their back and like they're still staring at you in your eyes. Like, I don't understand it. Like, they don't ever really just go completely loopy, wild in the cage. I don't know. It's a weird thing to describe. Like, when they get hurt, they don't show it.
Like, they're like some graffiti on a Vietnam War helmet that's hard to kill, baby.
Oh, yikes.
But like, But and then round two, Borshchev, he gets the big right hook, follows it up with the ground and pound. He had dropped Mahashate 2 times in that round, so I think he dropped him, including the knockout, a total of 4 times. I mean, maybe I'm just a hater. Maybe I'm sipping haterade over here because Borshchev, I mean, performance-wise, there's not a negative thing to say about it. I'm just like in the lightweight division, like, do you do Borshchev Hooper? Is that the answer? Borshchev Chase Hooper?
Ooh, that's fun.
You could do it because as good as Borshchev's striking is, his grappling's ass. It's like if Hooper gets that to the mat, but he could also get cracked by Borshchev and go to sleep. That's a decent matchup. I mean, I'm kind of here for it if I got to watch Slavikov.
You know what I think? I mean, I love that matchup. You know what I noted that it easily is what led to the finish of this fight is that I thought Mahashate and Borshchev were pretty much even halfway through the first round for the most part, right? And then I think Borshchev realized that he could eat the shot that Mahashate could throw. So he started just saying like, well, I'll try and slide off the center, and like if he hits me, he hits me. If I slide off, I'm either way. I'm gonna eat one to give one, or I'm gonna slide off and land one. But he realized that
The power,
yeah,
power from Borshchev, nice. I mean, I haven't said personally a lot of nice things. Power's nice.
that was the one reason I think he won this fight though, is because like he realized like,
Yeah.
oh, I have a lot more power and I can eat his power, so I'll just sit here and trade these one for one and wear him down, which is I think what we saw happen.
Also, Mahashate, same age as Chase Hooper, 23. So, I mean, still a prospect. A lot to be learned. Still a lot of potential.
He's super green. He needs
Super
a lot
green.
of work.
Yeah, for sure. But that wraps up the prelims. Also, I thought that was pretty bold getting Mahashate Borshchev. I mean, we got to finish, so maybe it wasn't too bold, but I thought that was a pretty high card placement for that fight.
Borshchev
Was there
also
a
got
bonus on that one?
Borshchev got
Yeah.
a bonus.
I mean, that was a pretty goddamn amazing performance. I mean, he got like 4 knockdowns in 8 minutes. I mean, that was. I don't hate that bonus. Yeah, don't hate it. Makes sense. I think Urbina's was like a better highlight, like more flashy.
See,
like,
that's kind of how I feel. Is like I kind of liked Urbina's a little more.
little more. But I'll say Borshchev's performance was more dominant, like over the like pillar to post, like bell to bell.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And he landed a lot more like impactful shots, like
We
highlight
say
shots.
that, but Urbina got a 10-8 first round. So fuck, was it though? Is it recency bias? I don't know. I mean, they honestly both probably deserve bonuses of what we're saying here. But
Yeah,
that
good
wraps
point.
up the prelims. Like this video. Check out some of our other videos. Please subscribe to the channel if you watch UFC. We never miss a card, never miss a fight. One of the only shows doing deep dives on the prelims like this. So just support the channel. If you support combat sports and like going doing deep dives, if you're the type of fan that watches the prelims and knows the prelims fighter name, we're the perfect show for you.
Yes, sir. We will be right back to break down this 5-fight main card. Main card's pretty juicy. Level of intensity probably the same for both these cards, which are both the prelims and main card. But that's a good thing, I think, because I like the energy on both sides. But we'll be right back to break it down for you.